Can y'all hear me? Still? Hold on. That's weird. I'm doing an audio test here. It's saying it is okay, but I don't know what's going on. Can y'all hear me now? Oh, okay, cool. Awesome. All right. Thank God. I was like, I finally get a little earlier live streaming and no one hearing the irony of it all. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? All right, it's good now. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all being patient with me on it. I forgot to plug in the mic again from last night because this thing changes colors and I have no idea what it's up to. It's like, what's going on with this microphone? Yesterday it was green, now it's blue. I don't know. How y'all doing? Hey, Tiku, Toto, Kiari. Man, there's some new names coming up in here. Y'all listen, I welcome all, even the trolls. You know, unless you do something, sometimes we got to put Jedi Clown in timeout. But you know, we still love them. They come in. Just don't bother my mod. It's I had to block them yesterday. They still come back. Yeah, it's you know, we're here to get some good information and have a good show. When I have to go mama mode, I will. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all so much. It's 35 of you all. Please hit that like button. Let's get these videos up and up and up and up. I had a couple of videos to premiere earlier today, so make sure you guys check it out. I mean, you know, I get this a whole lot about y'all just always y'all ain't got nothing to talk about. You YouTubers, y'all just gonna run out of stuff with super gone. No, we don't run out of stuff. Is it people aren't watching the other stuff? People still want to know what's going on with Super. It's just kind of how it is. Now, do I report on other things regardless? Yes. Yes, I do. Judge Shamila Williams has cases coming up in hearings, so we're definitely going to be monitoring that. And I'm just kind of like, everybody's doing P. Diddy, and you know, somehow his stuff is being blocked on other channels because he's an asshole crybaby. But yeah, we are doing other things. I know I am, but I implore you all to watch it. Can't force anybody to do it, but I appreciate those who do. Some people are, you know, supporters here in the LLC report, you know, support any content that I put out, as long as it's good content. And so I encourage you all to do the same thing, but there it is. You're okay now. I appreciate you all. Hey, Patricia, how you doing? Audio is good. Like button is not working. Y'all hit that like button. Hit that like button, and this is going to keep the content at the forefront because, you know, algorithm and stuff. So I don't want to keep you all too long tonight because I do want to just kind of just chill back simply because I got to go to bed earlier because I got to get up and go to the office in the morning. Normally I work from home, but you know, I have to get up in the morning. So, man, I want to go over these cases that was sent to me. Thank you, Cheryl. Shout out to Cheryl for sending this to me just to kind of keep me abreast of what's happening in the courts with Super Stupid. Y'all know she just loves lawsuits. She's just like, for someone who claims to be innocent of everything, she sure catches a lot of cases. If I block you again, you unsubscribe. What's wrong with you? You can't sit here and talk crap about my mods. I kicked you. I timed you out. I didn't block you from the channel. I timed you out because I try to allow you all to have free speech and expression, but not at the expense of my mods. Now you can't do that. They ain't want to be a mod. You can't expect me to. You can't. You blame me for going mama mode, protecting my platform and my supporters. All of y'all. I protect all y'all. All right, you'll be all right. Jake, go to Flint. Go to Flint. Jake, go to Flint. Yeah, he's in Flint. I saw a video today of some nonsense in Harvey. Mayor's out there losing his mind. Has he already? Here's my question. Didn't he already lose his mind as well? My understanding, he's about as bad as Super Super. He's just the male version and taller. You putting people out of a meeting for clapping? Like that's not a violation of First Amendment rights? I tell you all what you should do is file a collective lawsuit against his ass for violating the First Amendment rights and free speech and expression. You can't tell people how to express their free speech. Clapping is protected speech, whether you like it or not. It'll be a hard case to prove to say that clapping was so bad to where it disrupted a meeting that leads to people being evicted out of the town hall their tax dollars pay for. You have to show how it is disruptive that warrants everyone to be evicted out of a meeting because they clapped. And there's case law and precedents to support that. Plus, our Constitution is clear on clapping being a form of expression of free speech. So it's just, how long has he been a mayor there? Because then I have to ask, was he reelected? Did people reelect him into this? Is this his first term? How's this going? It's not disrupting me. Clapping is clapping. They had to get over it. He's not a dictator. And he certainly does not, have the authority to sit here and pretend as if he's sitting in a courtroom like he's a judge. And he is my attorney. He went to law school, did he not? Isn't he an attorney? Or at least a lawyer? He's not practicing law right now. Isn't he a lawyer? That's the thing. He learned about constitutional rights. That's like first semester of law school. So that's something that everybody should know, whether you go to law school or not. But seeing that he did go to law school and learn laws, constitutional law really is like covered in the first semester. I can't fathom that in the three branches of government. I cannot fathom why he thinks, as a lawyer who went to law school, that it's okay to infringe upon First Amendment rights because clapping. What an asshole. Dude sucks, y'all. He sucks. All right. Which say Laura Gray said they had buttons to vote. None, they don't have to speak. So that they don't have to speak. Clapping is noise. It is. Thank you for telling me a fundamental fact. So is speaking. Clapping is noise. Talking is noise. Music is noise. I mean, we can all agree that, clapping and speaking and all that is some sort of noise. It sounds. It still has nothing to do with the First Amendment. It just doesn't. And I'm telling you, it's case law. I implore you to find case law and then prove me wrong. Because I can show you at least 2 or 3 cases where clapping is protected speech under the First Amendment. And based on U.S. Supreme Court rulings. So you can top me on that. Go ahead. Please do clap. I implore and encourage all of you to. That's reading and researching. It's fundamental. Robert's Rules does not trump the First Amendment. You really want to have a legal argument with me right now? Robert's Rules do not precede the First Amendment. Federal law is the foundation, especially the constitutional law. It is the foundation of our legal and judicial system. So you cannot have a rule that takes precedence over constitutional law. That would be in violation of the Constitution itself, and it would be unlawful. So no one cares about Robert's Rules, especially knowing that he was a lawyer that went to law school at some point, and he knows the differences between Robert's Rules and the First Amendment. Okay? We all know that. Jedediah Clown is just giving me... He's just giving me some good dialogue here. He knows I'm right. You know I'm right. Like I said, prove me wrong. Pull up case documents. We don't even have to theorize that. That can be proven with documentation. Yay. We bless God for it. All right. What's going on, Mal? They don't realize that working in a public official role is not the same as working for a private firm, and they think they can do what they want. Yeah, basically, I mean, he like I said, he's an attorney, a lawyer, and a shitty one at that, because now he wants to pretend like somehow constitutional rights and certain laws just apply to him, but not anyone else. That's not how it works. What he should be faced with is a bunch of lawsuits on violation of First Amendment. He's having people arrested and put out of a board meeting they have every right to access and be a part of as voters, as taxpaying citizens. And he doesn't even care. So make him care. Hit him in the pockets and sue him in his individual and official capacity. If the trustees there want to let him just sit here and act like he's a dictator, then they all should pay the price for it. And unfortunately, it may have to come down to some sort of financial compensation. That might be the only way he learned. So yeah, you hate to see it, because everybody talks about the attorneys getting all this money. Everyone knows I hate the Delgado Law Group. They're incompetent and they were a waste of money and time. But there are just certain principles that you just cannot ignore. If you do, look how long it will go on. And it goes on unchecked. Does it make sense? Robert's rules. Come on now. Mama Bear, how you doing? Jamal Leotis Henyard. Where you been, man? What's going on? Where you been? Go clap in Congress. They do clap in Congress. I told you, case law. I want to see case law from you. Supreme Court rulings to prove me wrong. That's it. They actually had a whole, I don't know where you been. They done had whole fights and arguments in Congress. We're talking about the halls of Congress with the House of Rep and Senate. Oh yeah, they make a lot of noise up there. And I say up there because they're in DC, but they make a lot of noise in Congress. Yeah, we witnessed a whole insurrection. So whatever. Seriously. Give me Supreme Court, U.S. Supreme Court rulings, and then we can have this conversation. Go ahead. I'll wait. This whole live stream, I'll give you the whole live stream. Prove me wrong in one case law. Oh man, I'm coming to the ATL. Super kicked me out yesterday. Because of the Constitution. I know, right? Finally. All right. What's going on, Nita? How you doing? Everybody good? You talking about in the bushes? In the bushes? All right. Yeah, let's take a look at this case right here. Hope you guys can see this. I'm gonna zoom in just a tad bit. And I'll have to scroll over. So there are a few cases she has pending that are upcoming. Some of these hearings were allegedly today based on the date. So you got, David Duval versus Dom Dom. And there was a status hearing. Now, one of the status hearings is in courtroom, and I'm assuming at the 6th district or wherever. I haven't even looked at this case. I don't even know who David Duval is, but that would be an interesting case to hear about. And then the other one is a different location in Markham. Okay, so let's see here. So that was supposed to be some status hearings today on that. It's the same case. Why have it in two different courts? Now I'm just confused about that. All right. And then, of course, the Dalton Professional Firefighters Association Local 3766 IAFF. Yeah, I know that Jason signed a like a collaborative agreement, and I actually went over that in 2 or 3 lives ago. Like the 2 or 3 previous live streams I did, I actually pulled up pictures that were on Facebook, because I don't have Facebook, of him signing, the last page. And I actually showed the last page of the agreement that Jason House signed along with Adam Farej, and they were at the firehouse, and it was all on Facebook. So I posted up photos of that, and I also said I want to get my hands on this agreement that he recently signed with them, because that kind of would give me a better understanding of what's happening with this court document, this court case. Obviously, there's something unresolved. I mean, if they came to an agreement, then I just I'm puzzled as to what they're going to court for. But I'm gonna try to get the information on that. Tina P is usually fantastic. Anytime I ask her to pull up, court documents out of Pacer, she'll, bless this channel with that information, which um I'm gonna shoot over an email. I just haven't had time, I'm gonna be honest. Um, when I have to go to the office, it's hard for me to do anything. But I do want to kind of look at that court filing to see what's going on with that case since they've already did an agreement. So those hearings were today for a status hearing. And then, of course, the trustees in the Village of Dalton versus Super Stupid. And that hearing was back on May 12th. So on Monday, that was a status hearing for that. What's interesting to me is this one at the top, Samisha Williams. Am I saying that right? This is from 2024 against her in the Richard Daley J. Daley Center. And that hearing is tomorrow. It's a first time motion hearing. Typically, Richard J. Daley Center is the criminal courthouse, I believe. Not saying they don't have other cases there, but it's more so, known to have criminal matters there. So that's kind of interesting to me. Even the case number, y'all see the lettering there is different. I haven't had time to actually look up all of these cases. I do know the trustees had an injunction that they filed, a petition they filed against her, which I would assume at this point, unless they are still trying to, move forward in her individual capacity, I would assume would be considered settled or resolved since she's no longer the mayor. But if they did, file the complaint in her, because I don't remember if it was in her individual capacity, I'm gonna have to look it up again. Then, that would be reason for them to still move forward. But that was a status hearing. So status hearings is basically like, okay, where we at? I still want to go through this. Everything that goes on in the court is going to be made available to the public for the most part. Is there any room for some sort of settlement or mediation, arbitration, anything? Where are we with discovery? Does both parties have the documentation, the evidence they need regarding the case? What do we stand? That's what the status hearings are about. This first time motion hearing, obviously, I don't know which party filed a motion. I don't know if it was the petitioner or, of course, her being the defendant. But I'm very curious about that case. Now, like I said, David Duval and Samisha Williams are new to me. So you guys let me know which one I should check out tomorrow. And I'm only going to do one. Maybe tomorrow and Friday, we'll check out a couple of these cases off the list and kind of dive deep into the court docs. But you guys vote on which one you want. Samisha, David Duval, the firefighters, or the one with the trustees. And then we'll go over it. I'll cover the one with the trustees with their permanent injunction, but maybe there's something that was added to it and I missed it. So, but we'll go over it. We'll pick one and go over it tomorrow. All right. So I want to get to, let me see, to this video that Jill sent me. And he was sending me his, I think Bobo sent it to me. This is something else. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? What's going on? Let me hit some comments right quick. Now that I have no job, I've been spending more time with my children. So I've been watching, not really able to comment. You know what? That's good for you. Just brace yourself for the FBI. I hope you know, and I'm saying this with love. They're coming for you. That's said with love, okay? The FBI is coming for you. And Super Stupid. Can't escape it. Yeah, good deal. Good deal. You can move in with Oh god. Hey status, how you doing? Shaking their bushless boss. I'm shaking the bushes. Ooh, and Luke. Oh man. I'm shaking the bushes. Mal says, does it say who represented her, or would it be the village's lawyer LLC? At this juncture, it would have to be if she is named in her individual capacity. The village is no longer responsible for covering her legal fees whatsoever. So If it is in her individual capacity and is moving forward with that, she would have to get her own lawyer. Either way, she has to have her own representation. They're not obligated to still pay for any pending litigation. At least they shouldn't be. And that would be new to me if they have some ordinance on that. I would love to see an ordinance where they're still obligated to cover her litigation at this juncture, especially when she's doing dumb things to bring these lawsuits upon herself. And said in a video, I get sued all the time. Like, she don't even care. Oh, okay, good. We glad you said that in a video. That can be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to remain silent, girl. You can't sit here and say that stuff in videos and not expect you to bite you in the ass. They'll come back on you. That's why when I say certain things, I know what I'm saying. And if I'm explaining it wrong or if it's misunderstood, I try to correct it. But no, I typically say what I mean what I say. So you can't go in a video saying I get sued all the time. Y'all stop it. And then get mad when you get in all these lawsuits. You're doing things to get sued. So no, they should not pay for her attorneys. Just be god awful they did that. 5090 in the chat. Hit the like button. It's 103 here. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Y'all see I got in a little early tonight. We're going in 25 minutes. I want to go ahead and get to these videos. Hey Angie, how you doing? What's going on? Hey, Cox Enterprises LLC. How's it going? Samosa Samisha was the director of the permits department. And she's suing Super Stupid. Was she got wrongfully terminated? Okay, so we could go over that case if you all want. Am I saying that right, Samisha? Hey, Phyllis, how you doing? Yes, he's supposed to be a lawyer. Yeah. Quack over there is just wreaking havoc in the neighborhood. And he's supposed to be a lawyer. You know, when law somehow in his alternate reality does not apply to him. Yeah, I can't do 2-3 thunkhead mayors at once. I just can't. I'm still reporting on Super Stupid till she goes to prison. I just can't even spare the mental energy to focus in on Sheldon Neely or Christopher Harvey. All of them the same. They're headache. They're a big ass headache. All right. So I only have to take one of them at a time. Now, we did go over, if you guys haven't seen the live stream from yesterday, we went over an appeal that the Flint Mayor Neely, Mr. Walnut Head, that's what we call him. Walnut Head actually was denied regarding qualified immunity. He tried to hide behind qualified immunity. The court said hell no, and then he appealed it, and then the district court said hell no, and go back to the lower court. So he just lost there. He still got to sit here and go through this court here, and he better think quick, because $50 million is how much the former fire chief is suing his walnut head ass for. He might want to think about reaching the settlement. I highly doubt he's that smart to try to do it, but he might want to think about that. $50 million. That's gonna come right out of the taxpayers' pockets, when that money should be going towards the victims from the Flint water crisis. As if there's no order demanding that they pay up this money. So Neely doesn't care about court orders either. These judges ought to be sick of their asses. That's what should happen. Super Stupid, Sheldon Neely, Walnut Head, and now Harvey. These attorneys, these judges, the judges, not the attorneys, the judges should be sick of seeing cases with their names on it for the same thing. It's like a repeat pattern of behavior. They ought to be sick of it. Not trying to show them favoritism and throw them a bone. They ought to be tired of this. Be like, damn, it's the 4th lawsuit with you in it. What are you doing? Hey, go to your room. Hell out of my courtroom. You lose. Bye. They need to have a backbone. That's what they need. Okay. Fox said, Samisha. I hope I'm saying her name right. Because lost. Not only I caught her live. Hi, Lisa Harkley. I really love your chat. Thank you. I am flattered. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We try to keep it lively and fun and entertaining, educational, all at the same time. Plus, with court documents, you can't go wrong with that. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I think all of the supporters here, everybody that's watching and tuning in. I got sent this video, y'all. We finna check out. Hey, Robin, how you doing? All right, we got the comments in. Let's check out this video. Yeah, this was sent to me, and this is something else. And then we're gonna go on to public ops because I just want to kind of keep it low. Hold on, man. Okay. Yo, this video right here.
Through Rula, it's easier to
Ed, you gotta have them. Okay. Now this
same thing you guys tasted earlier.
This was sent to me because Super Stupid somehow shows up in this. This is an episode of Bar Rescue season 6. If you guys want to see the full video, because I'm not gonna go through the whole thing, you can go on the Bar Rescue YouTube channel. Ooh, they got 792,000 subs. Good grief. Thumbs up. So I was sent this, said, hey, check out the timestamp at 3 minutes. Oh my God, this is something else. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna start there because I think that's a good starting point. Now, I thought that this waitress was super stupid. Could you just buy the weave and the hair with this crinkle style look? Y'all check this out.
Needs to start thinking like an operator.
One in the chat if you can hear and see.
Let me find out where this is going. I'll be right back with you guys. No, I won't do that. What?
You're on your own, Gerard. You got to keep eyeing that fryer, too.
Gerard, I got 3 people out there that's still waiting on some chicken.
I thought this was her.
They ain't
It's
getting
not.
out the window. They can't keep up with me. Really?
Did I hear you right? No drink.
Y'all, who this clown? Look at that clown. Look at this clown. Like she a crisis actor. There's no way you can take this seriously with her badass acting skills. No way. This seems so staged. It's not even funny. It's almost like she found out they were going to be in town at this bar, and she made it a point in her life to be right there in front of that camera. And everybody want to sit here and talk about it. Everybody to get all these people coming in from the YouTube and the Village of Dalton and blah, blah, blah. I understand there's some dumb things that should never happen. That happens. But this is the epitome of her putting herself out there to be all over the place. Let's not forget her dumbass damn video to try to land in Shark Tank. Yeah, Shark Tank, where they pitch those proposals and business ideas to rich and wealthy people. Let's not forget she did that as well. She's been trying to get attention even before she became a mayor. And now that she had the attention and it didn't shine upon her very well, it exposed her dumbass. Now all of a sudden, the media is the problem. Don't nobody talk about this, that, and the third. Hell no. I choose to sit here and talk about Super Stupid, and that's it. At this point. But that's the thing. That's what's so hilarious. But the goons will never admit. You know what? She did do a lot of dumb things to try to get on TV somewhere. Injecting weird ass sauce into meat and then having Deacon Easter soup show up in a commercial to eat that nasty ass looking burger like he enjoyed that. He probably had. Y'all. He was probably constipated for like 4 days straight. Trying to kiss her ass and please her to do a commercial video. Having to eat that actual burger. Y'all know Deacon Easter Soup had his colon was just blocked. I wouldn't have done that. I would have looked at that and said, I don't even recall you cooking that damn burger. Girl, what you putting in it? All because she wanted to do a video to be on Shark Tank. Thinking somebody gonna give her some money to run up the nonsense of a restaurant where she injecting sauce and meat that didn't even get cooked on TV. At the very least, go through the whole steps of preparing the burger. That was so crazy. It was like it was pre-cooked and she just, all right, hit play. And then I'm gonna inject some sauce in there. And he's sitting there constipating himself over that nasty ass hamburger. And it's all his fault. He chose to do that, dumbass. He chose to do it. It was all his fault. Y'all look at this. That's why I said right now, it just seems like she just wanted to get in front of a camera because she wanted to go on Shark Tank too. And now she's sitting here, you know, making it hard for this bar. They already under scrutiny on the show. And here her ghetto ass is sitting here talking about, we ain't got nothing. Nothing.
For an hour and a half, did I hear that? No water. We have water?
Look at this nonsense.
Guys, look at this.
I can't believe this.
Thank you guys very much for your patience. Would you like anything?
Oh, weird ass. It's so weird.
Water right away.
Why don't you guys come
Sit
back
here
Monday
smiling.
after I fix this place? We'll see how we do then, okay?
Okay.
Cool?
All right.
Give us a chance to redeem ourselves?
Yeah.
Adam?
Yes.
Was she the trustee then? Y'all, this is something, man. You can't make this stuff up at all. Was she the trustee then? Yes. This is on Bar Rescue. Yo, we can't make this up. Hey, Foxy, how you doing? Hey, Spag, how you doing? I'm sorry, I'm missing people. Did I say hey to you, Robin? I hope so. I'm sorry if I did. Hey, Spag, Foxy, RTs. What's going on, RTs? How y'all doing? Man, was she a trustee when she went there on the show? It's not a show I watched. I'm telling you that right now. It was season 6. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was kind of pre-written and planned with that guy. Y'all won't of all the tables in there, he goes to that table and say, y'all come back on Monday when I fix this place up. Oh, yeah, okay. You know, because them being just disturbers and disruptors and all that is just cute for them. They sitting there smiling about it. Yet she had her own burger joint. You would think she would get up and help the man, considering her experience and all. And she would get up talking about, I'm going to help feed the people. Here you go. Opportunity to help feed the people. You making songs about feeding the people, and when your ass is able to do it, you're in a position to be able to feed people. You sitting here clowning out the bar owner. This is crazy, y'all. The hypocrisy of it all. They could have literally said, you know what? I'm going to feed the people. Because at some point, that catchphrase is going to be an annoyance to the Lady Luck Club. So I'm going to get up and go help. How about that? You know, I see a need and I help people. I make sure y'all taken care of. Not here. The hell you are. Ew, I know, right? she could have easily fed the people. She was like, psych, don't sit here and be an asshole. She could have went to the bar owner and said, what can I do to help? I want to feed the people. I want to make sure everybody get water. What the hell? Y'all, this is unbelievable. Hold on, let me go back.
Why don't you guys come back Monday night after I fix this place? We'll see how we do then, okay?
Okay.
Cool?
That's some fake
Give us a
stuff
chance
right
to redeem
there.
ourselves?
Yeah.
Adam?
Yes.
We'll do it. Yeah, she will.
Great.
Yes, I do.
We know what our problems are.
I need some work. Yes, I do.
Oh my God.
Let's shut it down.
Okay.
Tell everybody we're closed. We got
Let's
a lot
get
of work
going.
to do.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to have to close the operations for the remainder of the evening. Finish your drinks, finish your food. Thanks again for coming out. Tonight was wild. We got beat up a little bit. I hold it told.
Oh man, I almost feel bad for the guy. Did he even get paid from these customers? Y'all can tell it looks staged. It looks so staged. Am I the only one seeing this? This looks so staged. And this part of the show was, okay, you got a lot of problems and issues. Shut it down, which is part of their routine in the show. And then, you know, let's have them come back when we've made the necessary changes that we need to make. Right? That's pretty much the gist of it. And I hope I could be wrong. That's the gist of it. To see her sitting there, literally making an issue about some water. Super stupid. We thought you wanted to feed the people. So even before she became a trustee, she was sitting somewhere trying to go on Shark Tank or showed up in bar rescue just to get on somebody's damn nerve. You can't make this up. Eating the people my ass. It doesn't seem like she cared about doing that at all. Yeah, this is something else. This is wild.
Putting procedures in and training my staff properly.
All right, that's the end of that. All right, cool. All right, on the public ops, because I really just, oh man, we just gonna kick back and have a little fun.
Hey there, welcome to the USAV.
As you gotta have them. All right, so this is Public Ops TV. Y'all see he at me on here, and I do love his content. He is hilarious. It's the edits, it's all of that. The hand gestures. Any questions? Of course, he changing up the images and stuff. He just makes it fun and enjoyable because her voice is so shrill. So we're gonna check this out, guys. Make sure you hit that like button and then show Public Ops some love over there on his channel. I am so glad he's able to get his channel up and running. He even has memberships now, so that is absolutely fantastic. Go support him, show him some love. So let's get to it, y'all. This is the Twisted Firestarter video, us police overtime. And of course, he at me, Dalton United. So this is gonna be something else. Let's have some fun here. Let's have some little fun. Let me make sure I get some comments in. St. Patrick's is not built at this time of bar program. Was this when she was innocent? I don't know. Was she ever innocent? You don't seem to be acting innocent in that video. She was acting like a whole clown. And acting being the key word. She was acting. That was a stunt. That was not. That's a matter of, oh, I'm gonna say this, and this, and then you practice and rehearse it. Nah, none of that was genuine. That was whole scripts. She just acted. That's it. She didn't care about the food and none of that. We all know she petty. I know, right? Y'all are funny. Allegedly. All right, let's get to Public Ops. Let's get to it.
Who is you doubt? You're not me. You cannot stop me. Top me. I am the best in the east and the west. Who testing the rest? My words are my best. You get success when you do you. I'm wise like Guru. Lil Marco, who knew? Same kid, but his shoes new. Now they all wanna do you. Like do you said. They playing them games. That is a shame. Cause all the time I've been lost in my brain. They playing them games.
We have fun here.
That is a shame. Cause all the time
I hope I don't get copyrighted. Is this copyrighted? Public Ops.
Please remember to leave a like.
Yeah, I had to pause and
Thanks
just mute
for
it
watching.
because of the song.
go follow.
The community, a clean
Oh,
the streets
that's
up.
the rap song.
Bumba clot.
Bumba clot.
Yeah.
Look what she said.
Yeah.
Bumba clot.
What about
Bumba clot.
can FOIA
Bumba
any
clot.
FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. Any community. You can FOIA any community, and every community must abide by state law, state
Bumba
statute,
clot.
which is they have 5 days to give you the answer that you're looking for. I don't know.
Like, how many $400 or $600 per day payments did Tiffany receive?
They got 5 days to give it to you. And then sometimes they come back like, let me get extension. They get 10 days.
Newly obtained records show last
do you
year
mean?
Henyard was paid more than $347,000 from Dalton and Thornton Township.
I don't know.
Like, how many $400 or $600 per day payments did Tiffany receive?
They got 5 days to give it to you. And then sometimes they come back like, let me get extension. They get 10 days.
Newly obtained records show last year Henyard was paid more than $347,000 from Dalton and Thornton Township, the two governments she runs. That's more than Chicago's mayor makes. Henyard's comp includes $282,000 from the township, which also gave her a $4,900 per month expense allowance and
Now
an
see that?
$1,100.
The vehicle allowance, $1,105 per month. That's how she bought that white BMW for Siggy. Because she ain't paid for that out of her pocket. And neither did him. He didn't pay for that BMW out of his pocket either. Technically, it's not his car. It belongs to the people. They need to reclaim it and get that shit back. This was the vehicle allowance from Thornton Township. So Thornton Township need to take that car back because Lord knows she did not pay for that out of her pocket. And she spent every bit of that $11.05 every month, even if it didn't go towards the car.
$100 monthly vehicle allowance. That's despite the fact
insane.
Dalton taxpayers spent 6 figures on 2 SUVs police used to just chauffeur Henyard.
It's not paid by them.
Taxpayers are the ones stuck with the bill. The supervisor and others get unusual perks, including $600 a day for every day they travel out of state for the township.
To put this into perspective, Tiffany's base salary is more or less the same as that of the President of the United States.
Y'all see that he put up was.
Including $600 a day for every day they travel out of state for the township.
To put this into perspective, Tiffany's base salary is more or less the same as that of the President of the United States. Her per diem alone has the potential to be in excess of $100,000. Not bad for someone breaking into cars recently, allegedly.
And $400 per day for travel within Illinois.
No. What happened with that charge? Was it dismissed? I never even looked that up, to be honest. Was that charge dismissed? Is that after tax? You talking about with the car? The allowances? I don't know. I know that one thing. She does not spend her own money on anything. Not even for her own rent. Y'all know they would have to get some money somewhere from tax dollars to pay that rent. And all the money he owed on, lease agreements and rent and all this other stuff from his businesses, Siggy. Of course, he's not going to pay the actual rent where he lives. This is, man. That money is stupid money. That's stupid money right here, what she's getting. Stupid money. Come on. Even in a bigger city like Atlanta, you don't get no $600 per day to travel out of state. What the hell you doing with $600? Even if you got an Uber everywhere you went and you got 3 meals in, maybe 2, but 3 meals in, it still should not be $600. And if you're in state, traveling within Illinois. So what does that mean? You got to go so many miles outside of your residence? Would that be considered travel? Last time I checked, that's what it was. If you like 100 miles away from your residence or whatever, then that would be considered travel within state, but still traveling. You're going somewhere where you probably can't do a day trip. That's how I know it's defined to be based on what I do. So if you're going out of town and you're not out the state, but you're in the same state, you're just out of, a certain number of miles from your residence or where you work or whatever for business, then they consider that to be traveling. If you are so far out to where it's impossible to do a day trip and it requires for you to have to get a hotel at least. So 400 is still expensive for you staying inside the state. That's a lot of money. The wages, I don't know if that were, I'm assuming that was gross wages. Who knows? Wouldn't it be funny if she filed tax exempt? It would be funny. It would be criminal, but it would be funny. She would definitely have the IRS coming for her black ass. She loves telling us she's black. So I'm just run with it. But it would be criminal, but she would definitely be investigated by the IRS if she went so far as to try to file exempt. So I still don't have any idea. I'm assuming that's gross wages, ma'am. I'm assuming that. Someone with Lawrence that's the tax and that's really funny. Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm not saying that there's no allowances for, government employees in general. I'm saying the amount of money she got from Thornton Township is absurd. No one should be getting that type of allowance. I hope they create an ordinance and lower the amounts and have, Napoleon Harris should understand, I can't go in getting all this money that she got. And if that's his train of thought, then I'm questioning why he would want to run in the first place. That's just my 2 cents on that. So hopefully they're smart enough to say, look, we're not going to sit here and pretend like this is reasonable, because it's not. It's not reasonable. We need to pass something to lower this allowance here, because we can't fathom why you need to spend that much money in a day. That's per day. Oh my God. So yeah, they need to change that. This thing's making salaries tax free in some cases. This is on the warrant list. Is that by ordinance? Her position is not tax exempt. I'm just saying it would be funny if she did that, trying to swindle the IRS. They already lie about how much they make, but her wages are subjected to be taxed. So I think that 347 is gross wages. That's kind of my understanding on it. Because if that's net income, then what's the gross wage? That's how I see it. All right, if this is net income, what the hell are you getting before taxes? Probably got 12 different deductions to try to bring down how much she gets in net income. Like, nah, they go on gross wages either way, not on the net. All right, hey Magnolia, I'm sorry. How you doing? Okay, cool. I make sure I want to get all your comments in if I can. Let's get back to it.
Plus the cost of their travel expenses. We asked Henyard's successor whether he agrees with the supersized paydays.
What you make is based upon what you are able to deliver. That's more so saying, like, people believe that professional athletes shouldn't get paid millions of dollars, that doctors should be, or teachers for that matter.
First of all, teachers don't make that type of money ever. I don't know any standard teacher that makes $347,000. You making that type of money and you work for any department of education, you're like the dean or the provost or the president of the school. Something to that extent. And you've been there for at least 15 plus years. I have never heard of any school teacher or professor at a college or university making $347,000 a year gross wages, because that's what we're assuming it is. They go based on your gross wages when they're reporting it. So, you know what? Let me go back. Okay, let's look at this.
Expense allowance and an 11.
So if you guys are looking, if you can make out what's in the W-2 in the background, of course they blotted out her private information, like her social security number and stuff like that. But if you look, you'll see the boxes where this would be based on gross income. You see the boxes outlined in black. I think this is gross income, because they wouldn't report on her. No one really goes by net income anyway, especially when you're talking about misappropriation of funds or the IRS, investigating you. They typically go on what you have as, gross wages reported. I wish I could get a copy of this. Where is this at? Well, why is there no link to this W-2 from WGN? They get all the good stuff and they don't share it. They don't share nothing. All right, let's just go back here.
Days.
What you make is based upon what you are able to deliver. That's more so saying, like, people believe that professional athletes shouldn't get paid millions of dollars, that doctors should be, or teachers for that matter.
Henyard and Harris's predecessor, Mr. Frank Zuccarelli, was the township supervisor for over 29 years.
Thank you,
and according to the township, was fully deserving of his large compensation package. Henyard, in no way, shape, or form, earned that type of salary. So to hear this response from Harris to such a simple question, what are your thoughts?
I'm disturbed. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm not in agreement with that. I think it's absolutely absurd. And, there is no way he actually thinks that this salary is going to continue on. And I would find it very irritating if the trustees agreed in an ordinance to pay him that much money. Has he ever been Thornton Township supervisor in the past? Y'all let me know. Has he ever been the like at any point in time, has he ever been? Hey Karen, you're not late. You're good. You can catch the replay on the first part. Can anyone tell me that? Has he ever been a supervisor of Thornton Township? He's already a state senator. School, what you say, status, school district superintendents often pull down big salaries and packages. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's after being there for a while. They don't go into that. I don't know any school that really goes in paying that type of money. I'm not saying they don't make decent money, but $347,000. I haven't come across one that big. That's all I'm saying. Now say he's starting at on 50K, I heard. Yeah. Status, it should be based on reading proficiency. Yep. I mean, if that's the case, Napoleon Harris can read. He definitely is more well-spoken. Is Napo going to be in the office every day like in TT building? That's a good question. That's a good question. If anybody's a resident up there, you know, has he been present so far? I mean, he was really, they call it him being low-key, but it's just kind of like he's just been too far out the spotlight. And if you're in a position that's elected and you know the public wants to be able to talk to you directly and be able to see you, then the last thing you want to be is shy. This is not the gift God gave you if you're going to be shy when it comes to people. You got to be a people person. I think we established that with Cornmeal. we wouldn't let her sit here and get away with not being a people person. Then she was rude and nasty and disrespectful. You know, being absent and never, you know, being anywhere where the public can reach you or anything. No one knows what you're doing. So you're too quiet. That's my whole thing. And people want to see him be more visible because of the havoc Super Stupid wreaked and left behind. And then, of course, this whole concept of the salary being earned, she was inherited that salary. That was a salary that Frank Zuccarelli, who passed away, was earning. After 29 years, it was inherited to her. It was never earned. When you can't add 2 plus 2, Super Stupid, you do not get to say you earned $347,000 or 240 something from the Thornton Township. No, that was inherited, was passed down to her. And why didn't they stop that with an ordinance? I will never know. The trustees had a golden opportunity to, one, allow the people of Thornton to vote on whether or not they really want a Super Super. Because the way they pulled that stunt, it backfired. And two, you know, change the amount that she was earning. She didn't earn it. Lower the amount. This should have been something they put in a ordinance when she first was sworn in. So they're gonna have to do something now, because otherwise, what are we doing? That's just, you know, how I see it. It's just, you know, it is what it is. All right, let's get back to it.
So I'm not going to get here and go into a debate about what should be getting or what should be this salary of this.
She give back to the community, so I mean, what more can people ask for?
I'm feeding the people. They put me in office and treat like it's illegal. Y'all ain't ready. Let's go.
I'm singing this song.
Feed my people. From Vegas to Chicago.
You told us on election.
Holy Jesus. I wish he would copyright that dumbass song, so that way we don't have to hear that crap again. I hate that song. I'm telling you right now, I would mute it out if it was copyrighted, because I'm sick of it.
Yeah, we haven't heard the last two. What's next for you?
Live next for me. Stay tuned.
Been reporting for nearly 2 years on allegations of corruption surrounding Henyard in her capacity as Dalton Mayor and Thornton Township Supervisor. And now we've learned from multiple sources that federal agents are in fact interviewing witnesses as part of a possible investigation that may or may not result in charges.
This may be old news to some of you. However, there are many businesses under fire by a select few with axes to grind and just enough stupidity to cause this type of destruction and chaos.
Did the FBI agents you talked to seem serious about your concerns?
Very, very serious. Very.
Oh, yeah.
Lawrence Gardner owns a U-Haul rental and trucking business in South Suburban Dalton and says he went to the FBI several months ago, frustrated that the village of Dalton would not renew his business license. Gardner says he's been harassed and his business raided and shut down by Dalton police. He believes because he refused to make a donation to a civic event sponsored by Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
And I talked to a couple of agents and I explained them what was going on. I gave them all my paperwork to show them what was happening in court and what was happening.
And the sad part is that he did go through the proper chain of command, right? He tried to file some, injunction for court on the petition to get her to, sign the business permits, and nothing was happening with the courts. Because, once again, judges act like they don't have a spine, as if she can dictate our judicial branch of government. They had literally nothing to lose by following through on that direct criminal contempt of court charge. Nothing, Judge Iran. Nothing to lose. That punishment did not have to involve money. It could have been community service. You could have put our ass in jail. It would have been done with anyone else. But there are other ways to punish someone without it being anything related to finances. It's like the judge was like, whatever. Came up with the dumbest excuse ever. It was not an excuse, because there are other ways to issue a penalty or consequences for that charge. You didn't want to lock her up for a weekend or two? Okay, then put her out and make her do community service. That's what's so insane. So knowing he went to the court and seeing how they handled a very serious charge of direct criminal contempt of court and let her off the hook because of reasons, then I can understand why he went to the FBI. I can understand why he was all too happy to say, yeah, I talked to him. They took this very seriously. He couldn't even go to the prosecutor or the DA or the AG because they were in her back pocket, even though she can't do none of them. She couldn't have them fired or anything. So what the hell were they scared of? That's some punk stuff right there. They some cowards. that AG and including the government. It's some cowards. Some cowards. They allow one Ewok of an alien to wreak all this havoc, and they did nothing about it. So yeah, I'm glad he spoke up. But this is the issues he was going through. Plus, he was unlawfully arrested at least 2 or 3 times, and we went over his lawsuit. Guys, make sure you check that out on the playlist. Let's go.
Happening in Dalton. And they told me they was investigating and they would be in touch with me.
Investigators say an early morning fire in the south suburbs appears suspicious.
The average professional wastes over 3 hours a day.
Yeah, it's just necessary.
I don't think you'll have enough water. No. That's new video we just obtained showing the moment the building exploded in flames, consuming the structure and several cars. WGN Investigates has learned that location was raided by Illinois Secretary of State Police in December. They found 10 of the 50 cars parked on the property were stolen. The property owner, Larry Gardner, previously told WGN Investigates that he rented space to others and had no way of knowing whether the vehicles were stolen. Gardner spoke to WGN in late 2023 when he accused Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard of political retaliation.
There was a person who said that he didn't contribute to your campaign, and therefore he was not able to get his license for his business. His business has not been able to operate. So it's basically equivalent to extortion from what he was saying, and that other businesses haven't been able to get their licenses because they didn't contribute to the campaign.
So that's a false statement. And that's what I mean about the news not doing any research. They just let people get on the news and talk. And I'm going to say,
when we do research, your dumb ass don't read. So whatever. All I do is research and read. That's so crazy is that you got these airheads and goons repeating this nonsense, and they still fail to read court documents to this very day. And not just about her. This is insanity for her to sit here and say it's a false statement, but not actually prove how it was false. Prove it. That was all she had to do. And she couldn't even do that much. Y'all see why I call her super stupid.
Say this, and then I'm going to go further into your question.
Malcolm X once said, the media has the power to make a guilty person look innocent and an innocent person look guilty. That's their power. So that's why I'm sitting here telling my story today, because that's exactly what they're doing to me. So with that being said, they put people like that in front of the cameras, went and didn't do no fact checking. If people want to know the truth, I'm going to do it on my podcast.
Well, I did it. I went over his court document and his lawsuit. Then.
Podcast, Tiffany Henyard on the Move.
On Spotify, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell and show the facts and the proof of whatever a business owner did not do as relates to their business. If they're not up to code, if they had a ton of shootings at their establishments, which a lot of them had these type of issues. But no one put that out there. But I am now. And I'm not the one to never like try to drag or talk about a business, because you should handle it behind closed doors, meaning your business, before people put it in
Nope. You put yourself in the spotlight by trying to go on Shark Tank. So kick rocks. Get over it. And then you say you get mad because this man told the truth and it's in court documents. She is literally just kind of tapped into an alternate reality. I'm gonna be honest. I wish she would take her goons right up there to that alternate reality with her. That's it. I don't care that she's lost her mind. I just want her to sit tight until the FBI come. That's it. She ain't gotta do nothing else. Whatever happened to that food giveaway again with Mother's Day? Girl, please. It's super
in the spotlight, and now you're being attacked.
Right. Okay, so you're saying that this person's business was rightfully not able to get his license until he cleared up whatever it is that he needs to clear up.
Correct. We have documentation of all of that, and I can give it to you too, and that way you can follow up and show the world.
You were on with Roland Martin, and that interview aired yesterday, and he was talking about your nonprofit. You have.
So she went on this damn press tour of Lying Like Hell, where both of the hosts, Roland Martin and Angela Yee or something, Yay, both failed to actually fact check her in real time with actual documents. They didn't even try to Google the court documents or the lawsuit. So they allow her to come on their platforms and lie like hell. Is Angela Yee does she still do this podcast? Because, oh my God.
Have a charity. Well, you said you don't have a charity, but there's a charity. It has your name on it, right? It's what is it? Tiffany Henyard Cares.
Tiffany Henyard Cares. Yes.
Tiffany Henyard Cares. And so he says,
she knows the name.
You know, it looked like it was your charity. There was video of you promoting this charity, but you're saying it's not yours. Somebody's using your name.
That's correct.
Okay.
So just to clear it up, when I say it's not my charity, I'm not a board member on the charity. I can tell you what they do with their day to day. What I'm responsible for is my man.
Who was the board other than Keith Freeman? Who else was the board in this stupid charity thing? Who was the board? I don't get it. She didn't have a board. Keith Freeman was on it. And then she want him to take the fall for it. Forgetting that she could be charged as a co-conspirator. There had to be a court order for her to be restrained, basically, from even having this scam of a foundation from operating or accepting donations. A judge in a court of law had to sign an order to get that to cease and order her to not accept another dime through this scam pyramid scheme of a foundation that she was using tax funds, $10,000 from Thornton Township to cover. And yet the trustees don't want to go after her for this money. I mean, seriously. This big ass salary she got, $10,000 should be a drop in the bucket. This is insane, man.
Leadership in my supervisor position. And it's amazing how people are
God.
pinpointing on a charity when there's so much stuff going on with me as relates to the two areas that I actually do govern. I do support the individuals that has the charity. I am always an advocate for cancer because my mom had cancer. I feel they are good wielded people as it relates to what they was trying to do or trying to accomplish. And I think people make mistakes. People didn't file paperwork and they blew it up into a story like everybody else don't file paperwork.
People who didn't file paperwork. You didn't? Well, I mean, that would be on you. And there's a video, you all, mind you, of her actually saying she started the foundation. She never said one time, this is not my foundation. I'm just the face of it. So that video can and will be used against her in the court of law. Especially when a judge had to tell you to stop accepting donations under this scam shell of a foundation. So yes, that's going to be used against her as a part of the FBI investigation. Plus, it was, part of the FBI subpoenas. So the FBI is looking into that as well. She used public funds to put into a scam foundation. And she's talking about people didn't file paperwork. I'm telling Keith Freeman, who's now fired, being the only person that I recall listed on this crap to do anything else. I guess he just dropped the ball for reasons, while she still did nothing as well.
I'll give you a prime example. If you have an LLC or something like that and you don't file and you go check, and I'll check to see if you registered, and it go say not in good standing.
Right.
Until you pay the $75 or $150, whatever it is, then it puts you in good standing. It's the same concept. It's just that people are missing the point of it. And I get that people really, really meant to help people.
We've been lied to.
Y'all, it's a complete difference when a judge had to intervene.
Right. Running a nonprofit, we know a lot of times there are always issues with that, but they need to be able to account like where the money was going. But like you said, that's not your nonprofit. That is somebody else's, but your name is not on that. They just use your name, I guess, as a way to garner attention.
Correct. Just what's yours, way up.
Yeah.
So somebody go use that today.
Yeah.
Does that mean you got anything to do with it?
Angela Yee nonprofit, I would be like, hold on, that's like I would not want that.
Yeah.
But way up, anybody could use that. But if it was like my personal name on it, I probably would not. I would not want somebody unless I was involved in it and they came to me, because you would feel like that's my name. Yeah. Because you do know if something goes wrong, that's your name.
And I agree. And it's a learning curve.
Well, now you agree, and it's a learning curve because you got checked on it right then and there. Now tell me, why the hell could Angela Yee not do this the entire time? Or Roland Martin, for that matter. Even just with a bit of logic. Look how fast she said, and I agree. Oh, okay, good. I mean, we're glad to hear you articulate that, even though she didn't mean it. But she can articulate it. So it goes to show that she's able to understand this very logical point being made, that if your name is on something, like my name is on this channel and this platform here, how dare I sit here and do anything that's going to put the supporters, my moms, anybody that supports this channel at risk, or come to you all with a scam opportunity on something and then tell y'all basically, you know what? No one filed paperwork. The people didn't file proper paperwork. It's a learning curve. Get over it. That's it. Like, this didn't go through the court of law. Oh man, this is epic. I'm gonna speed this up a little bit for the sake of brevity. This is something else.
Perfect. And that's what I try to tell people. I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. So when you find out mistakes or things happen, you go and you try to fix it. But people got to be giving you the chance to fix it.
All right. Then there was a situation where it was a city council meeting and people said they were not allowed to come up and voice their opinions in this meeting. They were blocked downstairs from being able to ask questions.
Well, that's not true as it relates to being blocked. If somebody was blocked or felt they was blocked, they can always reach out to us because our meetings.
In relation to being blocked. Yeah, because you want to be nitpicky and technical about a word. Didn't you also threaten to have people removed? No different. You still violated their First Amendment rights. That's it. First Amendment rights violated all over the place. The end. Oh, man,
like
she the worst.
4 or 5 hours long. So I don't know who's blocked in my village.
Okay.
A lot of people were not withheld the storm like me because people not built for this. People would have been broke, been crumbled.
No, Tiffany, you had it all and threw it away. It's sad and very upsetting for a lot of people.
Especially women give me a lot of strength by saying, I commend you on your fight against this, because I would have been quick. That's what a lot of people say.
Right.
Say, God didn't bring me this way. This why I leave.
No, she
I'm keep on. And I just stay prayed up, keep on first. And he's been ordering my steps. And I love the fact that he gave me this opportunity, because without him, I would not have this opportunity to have 2 big seats and be a trendsetter.
This is how hypocrisy brews up. When you sit here and weaponize God and Christianity and the Bible and all this stuff to sit here and further a Ponzi scheme, where a court had to intervene. This is how you end up with goons and clowns and morons talking about, oh, well, it wasn't done properly. They didn't file the proper paperwork. Keith Freeman forged my signature. That was a huge lie. As much as I can't stand Keith Freeman, why even say that? Own it. You want to sit here now and try to curve the responsibility and accountability away. But yet and still, somehow we're expected not to. The goons, we're not expecting to have them accuse the trustees of something they did not do. We can read the FBI subpoenas to see who was listed on it. Stan Brown is one of them. But Kiana Belcher and Brittany Norwood are not. So we're going to go on the principle of someone being under FBI investigation. Jason House is not under FBI investigation. Does he make boneheaded decisions? Yes, he does. Do they want us to hold them accountable? I would hope so, but that would involve being open to criticism and understanding this is constructive. This is not designed to attack or be negative. But if you don't call out bad decisions as they come, this is what happens. This is how you get here 4 years later. Because when she first became mayor, give her a chance. We have to give her opportunity to do something. They ain't give me no chance to do anything. Heifer, you had a chance to do it from the beginning to make sure this was done the right way. You just didn't care. And then you put Keith Freeman down and tried to remove yourself from it because you know it was a scam. Why not own it? My name's on it. Yeah, it's mine. It's all mine. Narcissists want to sit here and dodge accountability, though. Funny how that works. The hypocrisy of it all.
And be a trailblazer. So I love that. So my baby, he takes care of me. He makes sure that I'm good. I do a lot of massages. Got to decompress. I do a lot of that. And my daughter, I'll tell you that they're my biggest support, and my dad and my mom, of course. But that circle right there, they're my biggest support. They uplift me and my team. Certain people on my team, they give me spiritual guidance. They pray over me. And also they always send me scripture, which I need. I'm gonna drop the first one this week. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna burn up the internet. And remember, I tell they uplift me and my team. Certain people on my team, they give me spiritual guidance. They pray over me. And also they always send me scripture, which I need. I'm gonna drop the first one this week. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna burn up the internet. And remember, I tell them, if I ain't come for you, if I didn't send for you, don't come for me. So I just want people to know.
You had to send for me, and I still came from you, you dumb heifer. I still came for your ass. Matter of fact, I'm gonna keep reporting on you till you go to prison. It is my pleasure to do that. You don't even have to ask. Challenge accepted.
Be prepared, because I'm not gonna stop. I'm a fighter.
Gardner is one of 6 people who confirmed to Fox 32 that they've been interviewed by the FBI, ranging from Dalton business owners to a former village employee and at least one public official.
I've heard rumors that say, hey, I'm on the wrong team.
Dwayne Wood has been trying to renew the business license for his restaurant for nearly a year. While he has not talked to the FBI, he believes he can't get approved because he's provided catering to several Dalton trustees who are engaged in a political fight with Henyard.
I think I've been just targeted because of my association affiliation with a certain group of people. You know, I had the trustees. I cooked for the trustees.
And in a lawsuit filed by a Dalton towing company, the owner alleges their business license has been held up because, quote, George's Towing's refusal to support or contribute to Henyard's political campaign. We reached out to the FBI, which said it is...
Remember that's not the only lawsuit where it's reported that she withheld business permits because they wouldn't support her. That was the same thing we saw with Lawrence Gardner. Same thing with Lawrence Gardner. And I looked at it. Those are 2 different lawsuits. He had Yvette Towing and Construction or something like that. This was George Towing.
You know, I had the trustees. I've cooked for the trustees.
And in a lawsuit filed by a Dalton towing company, the owner alleges their business license has been held up because, quote, George's Towing's refusal to support or contribute to Henyard's political campaign. We reached out to the FBI, which said...
That would be lawsuit number 2 that says the same exact thing. And she really thinks that was cute. Aside from the intimidation and bullying. This is insanity.
Is policy for the agency not to comment on the nature, existence, or non-existence of any investigation that may be occurring. A public relations firm responded on behalf of the mayor, saying neither Henyard or the village of Dalton have received any subpoenas or been contacted by the FBI or any other law enforcement agency. Dane Placco, Fox 32, Chicago.
And when they were, you still had her talking about what crime did I commit? That you violated laws. That's a crime. You broke many laws in court documents.
Never sue the other driver after a car accident.
that picture of William Moe, don't pray for me no more, was epic.
Will shut down. I also have the U-Haul location.
Oh, Lord.
Residents in Dalton. Know about that U-Haul place on 142nd next to the expressway.
Chief Collins was fired 5 months prior to this.
Whereas what he was doing, he did not have a license. But what he was hosting was a strip club joint.
So Lacey is alleging that he, not Tiffany, closed Lawrence Gardner's businesses and the U-Haul because it was a strip club. Am I hearing this correctly?
Yes, I heard it correctly too. And guess what? His dumbass response to the lawsuit, where he denied closing it down, now serves as a flat out lie. And he said this on a sworn affidavit on his responses to the court. When you lie under the penalty of perjury, or you've sworn that your statements are true under penalty of perjury, what is it called when you lie on court documents to the court again? Yeah, it's perjury. It's still perjury. That's a felony. That's a crime. So he's sitting here in this video admitting that he shut it down because it was strip club or something. First of all, strip clubs are still businesses. Who gave him the authority to shut some down based on morale or what he thinks should or should not be up? Same thing I said about that airheadish nonsense about liquor stores. It's airheadish. They're businesses. People buy alcohol, a lot of them, especially if you have a liquor store on every corner. You can't control who runs and operates a business up there because you don't like it. And yet you give them no alternative either. Super Stupid never gave people money to put up a new business as opposed to a liquor store or the goons. So what are you complaining about? You don't have some shutdown. You're just a police officer and nothing more. You don't have the authority to single-handedly shut down a business because you think it's a strip club. Strip clubs get business permits too. So it's such a flawed logic and concept. They're so stupid. It couldn't come up with anything better than that. That's the best potato head pillow top of heads could come up with.
All on paperwork, all on video.
Oh, okay. Pillow top head.
So this is nothing that's being made up. This is nothing that you can't look up yourself. Also with Pablo's.
You can't make it up.
That business was shut down because of the incidents that happened there, where the shootings, where they had fights, to where we had to call outside agencies, okay, to where even the Burger King across the street got shot up.
It's not the Burger King's fault. It's the club that's at fault. Is that right, officer?
So this is nothing that's being made up. People can say what they want, but one thing I'm going to do is enforce the law. It's just that.
What law is that? I'm sorry. What law gives him the authority to shut down a business? Am I missing a law here? What local ordinance or state statute or law, I don't care what level, federal, state, or local, what law gives him the sole right and authority and the power to shut down a business at any given time as a chief of police that he was not even good at doing with that? What law? Don't challenge me to a good time, because I went over Lawrence Gardner's basically the majority of the documents in that docket itself. And he denied shutting it down. So when you sit here in these videos that are recorded and made available to the public, that the entire world can watch, including any judge or jury, and say this nonsense that goes against what you put on a court document under the penalty of perjury. I hope to God he gets a superseding indictment. His ass goes for 20 plus years. I don't care if he ever sees the light of day again. This is just stupid. Just for the sheer stupidity of it all, to tell this dumbass lie, he needs to sit in prison for at least 20 years. This is so crazy, man. Let me get oh my God. Stank is not capable, literally believing in a higher power. Stank. No doubt. When I tell you all that there's a reason why I give these clowns these names that I give them. Super Stupid is the only appropriate name that she should be called at this point, because this is stupidity on steroids. It's a whole SOS. It's like screaming for help, except when you're just trying to, pretend like you have a brain. It's so dumb. I ain't Cynthia Moss. How you doing? They use her to be the oppressor. I ain't nobody. Listen, who use them? Who use them? Anytime she says epic. God. Lady Solo says she never felt comfortable with Super Stupid before becoming a Dawson trustee. Most people, it just by discernment, shouldn't feel comfortable with Super Stupid. She's horrible. And the people that sit here and support her, they are just like her as well. Just as deplorable. Just as deplorable. Not a single person knows how to record bad dealings on her games on the phone or camera. Fascinating. You know what's so crazy? They tell on themselves in these meetings that's being recorded. That's what's so funny. And then they go back and forget that they lied like hell when it comes down to doing an answer and response on a lawsuit filed against you. I mean, he literally could have watched this video and said, let me make sure my lie is consistent. He didn't even do that. You didn't have to tell a whole new lie. Just keep the one you got going consistent at least. We still see through it. You're still going to get in trouble. But whatever. At least you're being consistent. It just, pillow top ass.
Why? Because the village of Dalton deserves better than what they've been getting. When it comes down to the repossessed cars, since Ed Stevens, I don't know if you're still here, Trustee House, when that happened, and I brought that up, that everything was fine. What wasn't brought up was the mayor wasn't on the bank account. It was an automatic deduction once a year. I have no idea who makes an arrangement for an automatic deduction for a car payment once a year, but it was done before the mayor's tenure.
Oh, hold on. Where's that bank statement again? That would be on the bank statement. Now, I want to see the bank statement. When was this done? He talking about a one-time transaction that can be proven on a bank statement. Y'all, when was this meeting? When did this meeting occur? Because I need a timeline on what to request as far as a foyer. Because I really want to see that on a bank statement where a one-time, he said yearly transaction. Let me make sure I hear this right.
Trustee House, when that happened, and I brought that up, that everything was fine. What wasn't brought up was the mayor wasn't on the bank account. It was an automatic deduction once a year. I have no idea who makes an arrangement for an automatic deduction for a car payment once a year, but it was done before the mayor's tenure. And what ended up happening when the mayor was taken off the bank account.
Wait, what are you saying before she was the mayor? So before she was the mayor, you're talking about a one-time annual deduction that probably is money that's supposed to come out. If it's an automatic deduction, where did it go to? This is why I want the bank statement. Who received it? And what was it for? Because that automatic deduction would be, there's a description I expect to see in that transaction. See, they're not even smart enough to know that these bank statements do exist and that something like that, even if it's once a year, if we know what part of the year is coming out automatically, it's going to have a transaction description with a transaction number and the amount and everything. It's going to have that. At least it gives you a starting point, and then you can compare that against the warrant list to see who received that same amount of money with that transaction. This is easy to put two and two together here. And it's like they just, because they're in an alternate reality, they just don't give a damn about numbers or facts or evidence or a law or a statement or a bank or anything. They don't give a damn about none of this stuff. When they telling these lies, it's no logic to telling these lies. It's stupid lies. It's stupid lies. And when was she ever not on their bank account? Because day one, an ordinance was passed for her to be on Fifth Third bank account as a signatory. She had the clerk removed and then added 3 people on there that should have never been on it against the law. And he's talking about a deduction no one knows about that somehow just not came up. If it were before her tenure, why wasn't the goons demanding that bank statement as foyer again? Yeah, okay. I'm going to find it. I'm going to get it.
I brought that up, that everything was fine. What wasn't brought up was the mayor wasn't on the bank account. It was an automatic deduction once a year. I have no idea who makes an arrangement for an automatic deduction for a car payment once a year, but it was done.
How would he know that?
Tenure. And what ended up happening when the mayor was taken off the bank account.
Just listen to this horse
This
shit.
is so stupid. I know, right? First of all, you would have to have access to see those bank statements in order to even come close to making a statement about you knowing a transaction occurred once a year for reasons when you can't even be specific? How much was it for and who was it? How would he know that? He wasn't listed on the bank account. So how would he know? Obviously, he's seen the bank statement, I guess, or something. Where is that at? Prove it. Prove it. This is just a dumb lie to tell. Oh God, potato head, you
Unbelievable.
pillow top
They
ass.
conveniently took off the payment for the car.
Just watch his eyes midway through his lie.
They conveniently took off the payment for the car. Now, you don't have to believe me.
I don't.
Okay, you can Google this, you can FOIA it, and guess what? It'll prove exactly what I'm saying, but that's okay. So when it's said that the cars were being repossessed, the cars were nowhere near being repossessed. They're not in a repossessed business. They're in, any car dealer is in the getting paid business. That's what they want. They want their money.
First of all, no one in their right frame of mind would spend $150,000 for one vehicle that Dum signed. In conjunction with Tangenique Miller, she also signed that at least no one would pay that type of money. Period. He said, I don't know something. Let me back it up. How you doing, Ralph? Welcome in. Hey, Donna, how you doing? That's what I'm saying. If he has access to the, you know what? That's a good point. If he does have access to the bank account, why didn't he produce the bank statement? He just said you all can FOIA it. So obviously it's not a secret. Honestly, the law says, as a part of financial disclosure, that any instrument used to do any transaction of anything with tax dollars or public funds, the public does have the right to FOIA that. So the bank statement is something that can be FOIA'd. So if it is an account that was just strictly for the police, why didn't his dumb ass bring the bank statement and post it up? He said, y'all can FOIA it. You know, it's fine, whatever. We know that. That's federal law. Why didn't you bring it with you and post it up? This is how stupid they are. You at least want to try to bring that up if it's going to prove what you're saying is true. You know what he thought? No one is going to look this up. Oh, okay. Checkmate, heifer.
But since we didn't know about what had happened, since we were not informed what had happened, Trustee House, then what ended up happening, and guess what?
Somebody asked me to go back a few seconds.
Unbelievable.
They conveniently took off the payment for the car.
Just watch his eyes midway through his lie.
They conveniently took off the payment for the car. Now, you don't have to believe me.
I don't.
Okay, you can Google this, you can FOIA it, and guess what? It'll prove exactly what I'm saying, but that's okay. So when it's said that the cars were being repossessed, the cars were nowhere near being repossessed. They're not in a repossessed business. They're in, any car dealer is in the getting paid business. That's what they want. They want their money. But since we didn't know about what had happened, since we were not informed what had happened, Trustee House, then what ended up happening was, guess what? That letter came out with your name on it and Clerk Key's name on it. When we were made aware of it, it was immediately taken care of. So the Dalton Police Department was never in jeopardy of their cars being repossessed. And again, you don't have to believe me. You can FOIA it.
And another thing,
we don't believe
no
you, bitch.
payments were missed on the Tahoes. Just the squad cars, which would have resulted in cops losing their jobs.
Oh, yeah, good thing. Good thing that Public Ops had the receipts in the description. Let me hold on.
This is what
ads. Y'all listen. Feel free to provide donations if you can to the YouTube Premium service. It's a lot.
I is still tuned in. Sources say agents have visited.
Hold on.
Taken care of. So the Dalton Police Department was never in jeopardy of their cars being repossessed. And again, you don't have to believe me. You can FOIA it.
And another thing, no payments were missed on the Tahoes. Just the squad cars, which would have resulted in cops losing their jobs.
Exactly.
The FBI is still tuned in. Sources say agents have visited several of Henyard's allies at home in.
I'll make sure y'all check the description of this video on Public Ops channel if you want to see the receipts here. It has to be. Let's see. He said it's in the description. I'm trying to see it. Okay, that's the website submission form. I'm gonna have to ask him which is that? No, that's a GoFundMe. Are the receipts these videos? Okay, I'm gonna ask him to send the link or just email me the receipt for that, because that's something else. That's a wild accusation when you know bank statements exist. It's just, he couldn't even like say anything specific about it. Oh my God.
Looking for information and cooperation.
Then after that, guess what? When they don't buy back, most people go to, I'm putting you on game again. But that's how it goes. That way you have the answer yourself. And you're not listening to nobody because you got the answer through the FOIA. Make sure you watch Public Ops TV.
I'd also like to remind everyone of there is a final car show on September 29th. The final car show is September 29th at 14900 Greenwood.
Excuse me.
Chief Collins promotes the Dalton Car Show 3 weeks after blocking the larger car show held annually by the Park District.
Thank you.
That will be at the site of the future Dalton Police Department. So please come out and enjoy the fantastic cars and the live music.
And here's Collins 3 weeks later at his last board meeting, moments before his alleged termination.
The news, the coverage on the security detail made it seem like the mayor has multiple police officers around her at all times, which is not the case. The list of names that you saw flash across the TV screen were officers who occasionally are on the detail. Yes, she does have an officer or two with her when she's out and about, but also those officers have to have days off. So they get filled in with other officers who do work the detail when there are openings on that detail.
Now, considering that Collins said the exact opposite in his later.
Okay, status said the foyer. Dalton Village foyer. Dalton policies, submission form. Is this the form itself to submit the foyer? Because I've done that a couple times. Or I don't want to click that link and then it takes me out of this video. But I'm going to check it out after the live. And then if I don't see it, I'm going to ask him if he can email it to me. Because that could, I think it's just what it reads here is just the submission form itself. I want to see the bank statement, but I'll check it out after the live stream. But you guys can also go on there and I'll send a comment on here and ask him to send me if he has a copy of that bank statement, because I would love to see that. I want to see that one.
Tell-all Fox interview. Do you think he was set up?
Man.
Now, referring back to the patrolman's collective bargaining agreement.
Lewis Lacey. Every number over 80 is overtime. Marissa Curry. Same thing. Masses of overtime.
Still
and
crazy.
Now we have the infamous Terry Young and his pay slips. Bear this in mind.
Oh my
while
God.
Listening to Chief Collins excusing this disgusting overspend, expecting us to believe his bullshit.
Officers are paid overtime for working above and beyond their normal 40 hours a week. Their 80 hours per pay period are their normal hours. But according to that collective bargaining agreement, officers are allowed to accumulate time. Instead of taking it in money, they can take it in time and bank that time. And their collective bargaining agreement allows them to cash out that time at any time they want. There's no restrictions on it. However, the CBA does say that they have a maximum of 250 hours that they can bank, and they have to cash it out before the end of the year comes.
What?
So it doesn't say they can only cash out a certain amount. They can cash out what they.
Look at these dates. February, March, April, May. Before the end of the year, he wasn't even halfway through the year in 2023. He wasn't even halfway through the year. And if it's a matter of it not rolling over, how did he even get to that point where he got 303 hours again? 175 hours, 193 hours. How much did he have banked up? And why didn't he lose it in 2022? You don't see this is logic. I didn't even have to pull up a law to use common sense to make this simple point. If the concept is you got to use it or lose it, shouldn't he have lost all these hours in 2022? Jesus. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, there are many board meetings I have not seen because of the sheer stupidity of it all. And this is one of them. Oh man, public ops, keep it coming. I hope y'all saw him put up FOIA requests incoming. So he is doing some FOIA, and I'm definitely interested to see whatever information he has. I'm sure he'll post it up, but I'm gonna ask him if he can email it to me, because this is something else. This is something else.
They have bank. There's no restrictions.
Oh my
On that
God.
particular day, the news reported about what seemed to be an extra large paycheck. That officer did do the regular hours. He did overtime hours, and he did cash in what he had in his time bank. So by appearances, it looked as if he had worked 303 hours, when the reality is he did not work those hours. And that is public information that can be researched. If you dig a little bit deeper, ask the right questions on a FOIA, and you can get those answers.
No.
Well, I did. And you're a liar. Why? Why did you lie, Collins?
As in regards to overtime in the police department is unavoidable. Many conditions exist in which overtime is a necessity. Officers get sick, they catch COVID from continuous contact with people.
First of all, FOIA they're not legally obligated to answer your questions about the documents you're requesting as a FOIA. They're simply required by law to provide you with the documentation if the law permits. There are a couple exceptions to FOIA law that can lead to a denial of your request. And it will be primarily if it's at the detriment of someone's immediate safety or anything, or part of an open federal investigation, or a court has deemed those documents, to be sealed, or, for some reason under order cannot be released. I mean, it has to be one of those factors. But you get the information. You can't send off a whole bunch of questions asking about them. They're not legally required to answer your questions about the FOIA documents. They're just gonna give it to you and you figure it out. You figure it out. I don't even need to see them to say that if you got a comp time program that's in the collective bargaining agreement, that I would love to read that. I definitely want to read the new one that was signed between Jason House and Adam with the firefighters. But if that's in there, that means the hours he had that you're alleging somehow he's cashing out on whenever he wants should have been taken from him, and he should have lost it according to the agreement in 2022. There is no way by May he had 303 hours just saved up. Because how much hours of PTO do you accumulate per pay period? And that would not be comp time, because that means that you're being approved to work overtime. They're going to give you comp time. And then if you want to cash some of that in, they still have stipulations on that. I'm going to tell you all this right now. It doesn't work that way. It's not that apples to apples type of thing. There are a lot of restrictions when it comes down to cashing out on your additional PTO, or some sort of overage of comp time or anything to that extent, because it's still paid out at your salary rate. It's not something they're going to reduce to save money. They have to still pay you these hours as if you've worked those hours at your standard salary. You really think that they want, like, the board would never approve to do that? And what agreement would have something like that listed where it's okay? The collective bargaining agreement between the firefighters and the police have to be signed by the board, by the mayor. Who approved that? See, I didn't even need to do a FOIA to just put two and two together with that. These goons couldn't even come up with a better lie.
On the street, and they're also entitled to take vacations and use personal time. They're required to make court appearances even on their days off. We also require officers to attend training. Emergencies occur, such as the flood, where we have to call officers in off duty to come in and assist. So overtime will continue to exist as long as we have those type of situations. We have serious crimes that occur that need the appearance of multiple officers. Officers have been called into work. Even if the department was fully staffed, overtime would still occur. Overtime is unpredictable and unavoidable just by the very nature of this business. I would invite.
Oh, look at the money pillow top ass made. Look at this. Look how much money he made. Oh my God. 114.7 hours. Y'all, you can only do 80 hours in a regular pay period, which is standard. 114, 132, 108, 144. This is insane. And most of that was him being too busy to harass people and unlawfully throw people in jail because he didn't like signs outside of a gate. Like, you know, infringing upon First Amendment rights. You don't get paid overtime for violating constitutional rights. That's no. They need to take that money back out of him and make him reimburse the village for that. Anything over 80 hours, I will question. And the trustees need to make sure. No, he already got bankruptcy fraud charges. Potato head. Yeah. We want this money back of any overage because he can't justify the overtime. He can't. Plus, half of what he did was all over videos and all over the news. So he can't lie and say he wasn't there. So crazy.
Invite all decision makers to enter into a conversation about properly budgeting for these premium salaries so that the village can be adequately protected.
He really went to bat for his boss, Henyard. Good for you, Chief. Speaking of boss Henyard's, Chief Batters.
These two.
Here's Stan and his homeboy Holmes really giving it some.
And shame on Dalton Park for letting that happen in their facility. That's wrong.
What?
But want to save face with individuals that's having a illegal meeting in Dalton Park. This is where you meet at. It's getting irritating. What we're doing here, we steady fighting something that's totally unfair to the residents.
Next time y'all see Deacon Easter Suit, ask him what was so illegal about that meeting again. I want to hear the law cited. And then live stream it. Make sure you record his ass. Go up to him and say, you said something about a meeting being illegal that a judge, and I actually have the hearing in my playlist of a judge getting on them about that Dalton Park district. Oh no, Solomon and Super Stupid got chewed the hell out. I actually have the court hearing in a video, and it was caught in one of Jedediah's live streams. So I have the whole hearing in my Super Stupid playlist where the judge told them they have the right to conduct a meeting anywhere they want available to the public, especially when you're locking people out the building. So please, somebody ask Deacon Easter Suit, blue, black, brown, whatever you want to call him. What damn law was broken when they had that meeting a judge deemed to be viable and warranted? What was the unlawful nature of that? I guarantee you he will not be able to cite a state statute code, let alone the law. But I just, for shits and giggles, please somebody ask him at the next meeting. Next time you see him, ask him, hey, you know, see this video here. What law was broken? Can you cite the law? Lady Luck wants to know.
And I don't want to take away from that. I'm still a
We want to know in the LLC.
I know.
How can you sit here and treat an individual that's only trying to help?
Disgusting piece of shit.
Keep speaking the mic so that the camera can get it. Thank you.
What was said in one of the meetings, they were talking about the bills, and it was talking about, you know, going to McDonald's, Dunkin' Donuts.
Monday CRM has...
Y'all tell me why he's on a committee again. He who will not be named. Why the hell is he on committee again?
Trustees left the meeting in protest. Stan decides to really go in on them and you.
As an officer, do you guys get any food for inmates?
We do. We have an account with McDonald's and certain vendors to where we have to feed the prisoners per state law.
McDonald's? No, the hell
That
you
was one of
don't.
the questions that was thrown out about some of the bills that some of the trustees were saying they're not going to pay and they're going to pay others. But
what House actually said.
Y'all please ask any person that has been to jail in Dalton, did they ever get served McDonald's? I would love to know that one. That's a new one for me. Have you ever heard of Dalton, a jail inmates being given McDonald's? The inmates, not the guards that work there. The inmates. Have you ever heard of that? Park District, obviously a superior venue for meetings, adequate access, legally noticed, better level of safety. I was able to get Jedi. Yeah, Corbin ran out of there and then got on the live talking about some nonsense. We don't speak chicken. This is crazy. Someone, please, help me understand. Help me understand what jail serves McDonald's to the inmates. What jail? Oh my God. He's such a clown. Y'all see why I can't take Deacon Easter suit seriously with that hot ass green sweater vest on. What the hell?
Some of the items that we were talking about. Aurelio's Pizza, $131. Best Western, apparently 2 rooms for $318. Chicago Midway Airport, $200 worth of tax dollars spent on that. Cooper's Hawk, $557.68. Got Dollar Tree on here, $108. Dunkin' Donuts, Holiday Inn in Bloomington, 2, 4, 6, 7 rooms, $2,694.
Wow.
Image One, Italian Fiesta, $113.59. Jewel Osco, $100.50.
Just as the police department, they got a job they have to do on a daily basis, and that's part of their job is to make sure you got.
How? Explain to me how feeding an inmate McDonald's and all of those other restaurants named or hotels expenses is somehow helping them do their jobs. Who's running the jail if they all out of town? The rest of the police force was super stupid security detail. Remember that, folks. They chose to be her security detail. So who was running the jail if 7 of them were staying in a hotel?
I can't speak on that, but you have to do with the inmates. And I'm just looking at the bills right here, and I'm looking at
inmate McDonald's.
$7 or $8. I mean, so they have to get fed, and this was being taken out. So my thing of it, I like to see all bills getting paid. I don't like that deal when we have to listen to a trustee take out 10, 15, 20 different bills, say they're gonna pay these bills and not that bill. That's totally unfair. Sound like you discriminate. And,
yeah, we are discriminating when they're not board approved and they're just simply stupid. It's a waste of money. It's just no logic to it. Yeah. We're taking these dumb expenses out of here that you don't have invoices or receipts for to validate it. Because I'm still wondering why inmates need to be served McDonald's and not peanut butter and jelly and, cold grits. I don't. It's jail. You're not meant to be comfortable there. I can see if the Hamburglar was in jail and, he just came in with the hamburgers underneath his shirt. No. That's the only time I'm going to permit some inmates to be served McDonald's. If it's the Hamburglar involved. The Hamburglar said, I pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
We get letters and emails and texts coming from individuals that saying they wait for their money. And I just say to you individuals, we want you to get paid. This shenanigan that's going on is totally unfair.
Walking with paper does look less obvious, I suppose.
Unethical. It's not respecting you guys. And I'd like to see you get paid. If I was able to pay everything by my one vote, you would have your money. Allie's been paid. Allie's, I've been here since 33 years. Live on the next block from Mass Shaw. We never had Allie's paid. When they were saying 50-50, we was excited. I was tickled pink when I heard, 50,
tickle
50,
pink.
We get our front side paid. I got a treat that my sidewalk is up like that. And Lord knows, I hate for anybody to have to come walking or on a cane or on a walker or rolling on a rollers. You can't make it past my house. So these are things that's been here for years. And these past 2-3 years that's been going on, it's been totally unfair because there's some trustees that's been up here. And I got to say, Jason House, you've been here 6 years. 6 years. What were you doing 3 years ago, 4 years ago? So everything that's coming out now, and that's totally unfair. It doesn't make a difference to who's the man right now. Picking up what's been happening in the past is totally unfair to the residents. And right now, you residents, you guys get hoodwinked, bamboozled, and all them other things that go with that. That's what's happening right now. Because we just playing with.
Okay, he said it shouldn't matter who's the mayor. So I guess Jason House is going to be ordering McDonald's for the inmates. Is that still going to be okay? Are the voters still going to be okay with the idea that regardless of who the mayor is, that the chief of police should book hotel rooms and order McDonald's for the inmates? That's what we're doing here. Okay.
Numbers right now. If you got individuals that they don't mind you paying them in payments.
I canceled.
Yeah, ass. It is what it is.
Don't say I'm not gonna pay the bills if you don't pay them all at one time. That's totally unfair. You don't sit at your kitchen table and do your bills like that. You sit there and you start, well, I'm gonna pay this one, and I'm gonna give a little here. Let me call them, tell them, can I give them a little third of it? That's what we do when we pay bills. So it's the same thing here. So it's totally unfair.
You can't do that when it comes to paying a vendor. You can't pay them a little bit here and there. You got to pay them based on the contract. What a moron he is. Y'all, Deacon Easter suit is a moron. What kind of moronic nonsense is that? You don't get to pick and choose how much you pay to a vendor when they send you an invoice if you have a contract with them or an RFP, at the very least. The request is the right for proposal here. That's the beginning phase of it. They don't even have RFPs for most of the vendors here. Super stupid, just willfully take up work for the village and just paid them stupid money to do. Where's the owner of Oak Construction again? That's right, he's in prison for 5 years. Deacon Easter suit is about as dumb as it gets. I don't care how you feel about him. This is not to be negative. This is what I'm hearing. He is a complete moron. You don't get to do that if you do things the right way with a vendor. You have to pay them based on the terms of the contract. You don't get to pay them partial payments. They will take you to court.
Hold this administration to the bar to get everything paid and taken care in 2 years. Totally unfair. Let's be for real. We got individuals that's coming here. We got over 20,000 individuals that's coming here to live. And we got people walking out. We got people just getting busted to come here. To get and do what we're doing here. We got people walking out. That's totally unfair. Let's be for real, ladies and gentlemen. Some things you may not like the person that's doing these things, but look at what's being happening. I read off so much
it makes it right,
here.
though.
I don't know if people was frowning to like it, but I say some of this stuff here, you need to go ahead on and get some of this here because you pay for some of this here as a taxpayer. There's some good stuff here. A lot of good things are actually happening. We need to take advantage of what we have here now because it's totally unfair to individuals that want to get it
now,
but want to save face with individuals that's having a illegal meeting in Dalton Park.
And what law was broken? You know what? It's all because he was not tickled pink when that meeting was held. That day, Deacon Easter suit was tickled orange. No, he was tickled brown. He wasn't tickled pink, so he didn't like it then. Now he's throwing a tantrum. Can't quote one law to prove how it was unlawful. He is a moron. Plain and simple.
This is where you meet at and do just what you're supposed to do. Voice your opinion here. Don't take your meeting somewhere else.
Oh, no.
And shame on Dalton Park for letting that happen in their facility. That's wrong.
Shame. Oh, Lord.
We're trying to take care of business here.
No.
And I say my fellow constituent trustee should have stayed here and do what you normally do. Vote yea and nay.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do. Finish it out. But you weren't elected to walk out of meetings.
And what was the reason that they walked out of the meeting? Stan.
Yes. I'm sorry, Mayor. Can I say one more thing?
It's Trustee Brown time.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Thanks, man. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, residents of the Village of Dalton. I'd like to say there's going to be a Christmas toy giveaway from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. December the 16th.
Trustee, pull your mic up.
This clown, this moron.
I'd like to say there's going to be a Christmas toy giveaway December the 16th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Kiana is cut off from speaking so that Stan can read off the Thornton Township flyer for 6 minutes.
And for that last note, we love you and there's nothing you can do about it. That's at Thornton Township, 333 East 162nd Street. Township Talk. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Next on the
Mayor.
agenda, we have mayor's report.
Mayor.
So a couple things. Yeah.
I'm sorry. You said it was Trustee Stan, but I had one.
Don't apologize for that.
So we're moving on now. So now,
Okay, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I would just talk. And I would just pretend like she's the Ewok alien that she is. Girl, you are a guest on our planet. Get the fuck out of here. Super Stupid is a guest on planet Earth. Period. You are a guest here. If anything, we're giving you the opportunity to exist amongst us as humanity. We don't owe you that. She's a guest on our planet. But Lord knows I wish that whatever she came from, they will reclaim her ass and take her back. Get her off of this planet. Be thou removed. Elon Musk, if you have time, please go ahead and build a spaceship rocket so that Super Stupid can return to her maker. This is so insane.
Out of order.
Rude as hell.
I say here now, listen to
She is
y'all.
disgusting.
And now it's the mayor's report. That's so disrespectful.
Keep
y'all
talking,
gotta grow
Kiana.
up. Just because y'all can't have y'all way,
grow up.
y'all shouldn't act this way. Y'all said all that stuff, didn't mean a word of it, and then you sat here and you did this. That ain't how this go. Y'all do not run the meeting.
You should have thought about that before you had your administrator. Don't give us the information.
You
keep talking.
Let me finish my statement. So it's mayor's report. So it's a lot of great things that we have here in the village of Dalton. And today I want you guys to hear what's going on. Clerk Key, I did not say call any row. It's so disrespectful. So I'm gonna tell you about the things that's going on.
Never mind.
First, I want to make sure that the residents of Dalton know about the help that's here. FEMA is here in a community, and we are here to help you with your storm. Thanks to my proclamation that I made here in Dalton and the proclamation I made at the township.
But you weren't elected to walk out of meetings. You weren't elected to do that. This is my second go round as a trustee, and I know I've been a dog.
They were not elected to be disrespected, you moron. You blue, black, brown, Deacon Easter suit goon of a moron. They were not elected to be disrespected by a visitor alien on earth.
Trustee, because I'm looking out here, some people call me anytime they want to call me. Don't pick up the sign out in front of my house. I need to see a whole fix. I go beg and try to get something fixed individual. It's just totally unfair for the trustees to do what they're doing to the residents, coming when they want, go somewhere else and have meetings. That's totally unfair. They weren't elected to do that. They didn't tell you that at the poll. Well, watch out to walk out some of these meetings on now, so be prepared. That's totally unfair. Let's take that
so unfair.
I've been here 5 months. I'm dealing with bills that haven't been paid since 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. That's totally unfair. So I got to make a decision on it. I was told, oh, you just said yes with the mayor. I'm for paying bills. Yes, pay the bills.
Don't matter how much it costs or where it's coming from or the fact that it may have been a bond to do a dumbass water park. Never mind none of that shit. Okay.
Let's get together on what we're going to vote on.
It'll work.
We having these meetings over at Dalton Park. Andrew Holmes, have you been invited into those meetings?
What meeting?
They're open to the public.
I haven't been invited to a meeting. The mayor haven't been invited to a meeting. That's totally unfair. But
I'm
sorry, I kind of got on my soapbox. It's getting irritating. What we're doing here, we steady fighting something that's totally unfair.
And yet his dumbass did not want to be included on that actual lawsuit against the trustees. He actually wanted to be removed off of a lawsuit because coward. No, you're going to sit here and say this dumb shit. Double down on it. Go to court. He did not say none of this in the front of a judge in a court of law. And she sued the trustees for that, to which she epically lost. And then the judge chewed her out. And he also severely reprimanded Solomon for even thinking about bringing that BS to the court of law. Solomon was reprimanded, and the attorney for the Dalton Park District even asked the judge to issue sanctions against Solomon and Super Stupid. The same case he didn't, Deacon Easter Brown, blue, black, brown Easter suit, did not want to be a part of. That's in court documents. I went over that. I have the whole hearing. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. It's insanity.
That's a resident. Yeah. And I don't want to take away from that. I'm still a resident here. And I pay them same high taxes everybody else paid. I got an alley look like Vietnam. I got hills in front of my house.
You should get it done yourself.
The tree stump is just steady coming up. But I'm still fighting out here for other people to get service and not me.
Hey everybody, it's Tony Robbins.
Y'all should make sure y'all bring this to his attention.
Just so happened December 1st. Every December 1st is my birthday. I just had a birthday.
December 4th.
All right. So I say that to say I got to come off of shoveling snow. I've been ordered by my wife, no more shoveling snow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little tough out there.
Oh, your wife ordered you? Your wife ordered you? Punk. You're a punk. You're a whole punk. Anybody that tries to defend him at this point, I have to question your thought process here and your level of integrity and ethics. There is no way you can see this person as upstanding with this. This was habitual, you all. This was not a one-off thing with him. These goons of Super Stupid did this in almost every meeting I've seen, because I haven't seen them all. It would be a headache if I tried. Y'all would have to have a hard, stiff drink to watch more board meetings where she was this disrespectful and disgusting, and these goons are sitting here basically giving up their nutsack to follow along with what she's saying that still made no sense, and they couldn't even prove what was so unlawful about that damn meeting. That a judge was willing to severely reprimand the attorney Solomon, and the opposing party asked for a sanction to be issued against him for that. That was the most frivolous lawsuit on earth, aside from the others that she has filed against him. When she files stuff, she loses. And the recall was not a win for her. It was by technical error. It had to be dismissed. So she didn't even win that. No, I'm not going to give her credit for winning it. It wasn't a win. That even the judge stated that in the court documents, in the appeal. It was not a win. This is insane how rude and disgusting. And you're talking about just pay the bills. But he's the same man that wanted more bonds. So to the goons out there that keep talking about bonds, why don't y'all go after Blue, Black, Brown, Deacon Eastersuit about that? He wanted that, not the other trustees. He wanted the damn bonds for a water park. Not even to pay the water bill or fix the fire hydrants. Funny how that works. Funny how they don't go after the right trustees who actually he's advocating to just pay bills. Don't care who it's coming from. Don't care if we have a contract. Don't care if they even submitted an RFP. Don't care how much it's for. Just pay it all. Pay it all. Because, we got the money. This is how things happen. When things are not nipped in the bud, when it happens, this is how you get to this point where it's 4 years of this BS. And now he just wants to be a part of, Jason House got to start making some tough decisions. This ain't it. I understand he can't fire him, but don't put his ass on a committee either. Him and he who will not be named should be sitting somewhere just stewing their own juices until their time is up. Unless there's an ordinance or something, a loophole legally, they can come across to have their dumbasses removed. This is insanity. And they did this relentlessly in videos that I've seen, meetings I've seen over and over and over again. It's like they couldn't even come to their own resolution that this is just wrong. Who was elected to be mistreated and verbally abused again? Okay.
It's about shoveling your snow. Come on. Let's get with it. Thank you.
You're not welcome, dummy.
So this is not the last of your super mayor Tiffany Henyard. I got bigger and better things coming. So you always remember when one door closes, another opens.
Yeah, okay.
So that part. Because
what's that for?
Y'all need my face on the tube. For 60 views again. I guess y'all numbers are down. But whatever. So they don't even have to go to the grocery store and spend money on all that stuff. So I'ma save you some money. You got at least about a good $150 food box out here. So come on and get it again here at Thornton Township. We out here all day. And look, God, stop the rain for us. That part. Oh, don't you cry. I love you. Oh, let y'all go back.
Oh man.
Who is you doubting at me? You cannot stop me, tap me. I ain't
Y'all, that's it. That's all we get. We hitting 2 hours, y'all. Listen here. That was something else. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't think I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't have the temperament to just watch all of those board meetings. God bless those who did. Because even with me reporting and researching on this for almost 2 years, I just couldn't fathom the board meetings. It was just pure ignorance. Not one time they say what law was broken. Still waiting on that. Still waiting. We still waiting for that law. I want that bank statement. I would love to get a copy of the additional documents that Public Ops is 48. Y'all, this is something else. This is something else. And now you all see why I call her super stupid. He who will not be named can just go to hell. And Deacon Eastersuit is a complete moron. And we all know what happened with pillow top asshole potato head. I mean, he's been indicted. we don't care about nothing he has to say. His words are futile just as much as Keith Freeman and then Robert Hunt's MIA. Where the hell he at? Where's Robert Hunt? Man, this is something else. And yet we saw a video where she refused to feed the people, crying about a cup of water. All right, shout out to Public Ops and to Bobo for sending me the video. Thank you all so much, man. I've had a good time. I hope you all had a good time. I gotta get up in the morning. Listen, if anyone has any way to contact Fania Dukes, I would love to have her come up on my platform and do, a Q&A and just, kind of just a good interview or something to that extent with her, because this whole thing with he who will not be named, yeah, I have her lawsuit filing. I went over it before I could go over it again, I guess. But I have her lawsuit filing. And I don't understand why he who will not be named is still sitting on a committee when they could have had another election right now, a board meeting, to undo that. Being a trustee does not mean you have to be assigned to a committee, especially when he proved that he was insignificant when he missed 5 or 6 meetings. This is not about being negative. It's about calling right, being right, and wrong being wrong. And it was wrong for Jason or the trustees to assign he who will not be named to a committee. I don't care how it's put. It was wrong. And God knows how this made Fania Dukes feel. Just 6 months ago, we were talking about justice for Fania Dukes. And the voters up there, you all have to be the ones to say something. They want to be held accountable. That's what they claimed, right? In the ceremony, when Jason House won, they claimed they wanted to be held accountable. That means you can't be afraid to tell him, Jason, that was just a boneheaded decision to give this man a committee assignment. And then of all the committees, you put him on human relations and ethics. And are you even concerned about how this makes Fania Dukes feel? So I would love to have her come up in the LLC and just do an interview with her and just kind of get some insight on how she feels. And hopefully that will send a loud message to Jason House and to, the trustees. If you don't call issues out as they come and you allow time to pass by, all because we're trying not to be allegedly negative, which is not. It's called constructive criticism. It's called accountability. You have to say something's wrong. You can't say, well, there has to be something going on. There's nothing that's going on to justify putting him on a committee when he missed 5 or 6 meetings. I need you all to understand the logical point of that. This is very basic. This isn't rocket science, okay? Understand what I'm saying. If he was insignificant for the past 5 or 6 meetings prior to the ceremony, and business was still handled without him being there, why are they treating him as if he's needed on a committee when he does not, by ordinance or law, have to be on a committee? He doesn't. And there's no regard for how this makes Fania Dukes feel. If he claimed to want to care about his innocence, why didn't he go to the court hearing? He sent Solomon there to prolong the matter, as opposed to him going there to be prepared to fight for his innocence, allegedly. He didn't even show up for the hearing for her lawsuit that's still pending and active in court. And when it comes to, the criminal matter, there's a thing called a timely filing limit. Because Officer Miles didn't say anything to her until they got back to Dalton. The timely filing limit to pursue a criminal matter had already passed. So he wasn't clear. The DA chose not to pursue charges because of that. Each state has a different set of laws on how much time you have to file a complaint for criminal matters regarding those types of allegations. But at the end of the day, they didn't do an investigation because of that. So the fact-finding mission that goes with these investigations that typically take place, if it didn't occur, then how do you know they didn't have evidence? How do you know that? If you got the credible testimony is evidence, by the way. Testimony is evidence, by the way. So if Officer Miles, this is for the goons that claim to know attorneys and judges. So for Officer Miles, if he came in and testified, his testimony would be evidence. So to say there's no evidence at all, you're dismissing the testimony of the officer that reported what had happened to her directly. You're dismissing it. The video that could be presented to the court in a motion, and then the judge could say, okay, we'll allow you to have this exhibit into this evidence, more than likely through the testimony of the officer itself, who claimed that he was called on the phone from Nasty Man. And then that turned into a video call. There's a process where it has to be vetted, but more than likely, if the court allows that to be entered as exhibits into the case, that would be evidence as well. But at the very least, his evidence, his testimony will still be evidence, and that's credible. It's all a matter of how convincing would it be in front of a jury. And I've read the court filing and her complaint. I think that her lawsuit complaint is very credible. So she would have to testify. He would have to testify in order for that to really nail home. There's some cross-examinations he would have to, come up with some responses for. And I'm sure his attorneys would know all the possibilities of cross-exams that he could encounter and help prep him to respond properly. But testimony is evidence for the goons that think they know stuff about laws when you don't. But you claim you know judges and attorneys who tell you nothing still. Not teaching you anything. Makes no sense. So I would love if anybody can get in touch with Finia Dukes, because I would love to do an interview with her. I think that this, it's only right for her to be able to have her say in this. She lives there. This happened to her. Thank you so much, Donna, for tuning in. I'm almost done. I just wanted to, make this last point. Hey, Joyce, how you doing? But if anybody can, get in touch with Finia Dukes and let her know, Lady Luck Club would love to get in touch with her and have her on, the LLC or, Q&A and interview, and just kind of be able to give her the platform, the space to be able to kind of express how she truly feels here. And it's going to take you all as the residents to say, no, you all want us to hold you accountable. We're doing that. You need to take this piece of crap off of the committee and consider Finia Dukes. Let that case play out. That lawsuit is still pending. Let that play out before you go put him on a committee. But Finia Dukes, if you're listening, please email me at LadyLuckClubLLC@yahoo.com. I would love to have you on. I would love to be able to sit down and talk with you and interview you to get your thoughts and feelings. My grandmama used to call it discernment. She used to say, God put this person upon my heart today. That's how I felt about Finia Dukes today. It's like God laid her upon my heart today. Has anybody talked to her and checked on her? Because that, I think this is worth someone reaching out to her and saying, listen, if you want to talk about this, because that decision was made in the public. So I feel that it will only be fair and right, in the words of Deacon Easter Suit. It's only fair that she's able to give her thoughts in the, in the public, on a public platform. Because they made that vote in the public. That was not something they did behind closed doors. And it has to be just humiliating. So I hope that she's okay. I just, if anyone can reach out to her and let her know, I'm interested in doing an interview with her. We're going to sit here talking about justice for Finia. That's not justice for her. Putting this nasty piece of on a committee. That's not justice for Finia. All right, so sure, you're friends with her on Facebook. Please send her a message and let her know that, send her my email and let her know I would love to speak with her and do an interview with her. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Because I what type of due diligence is this? It's like all that reporting, it just seems like it was null and void if they're going to make these types of weird ass decisions that more people need to speak out on at the end of the day. And until this case is resolved in court, because it seems like he who will not be named wants this to be settled, because he didn't even show up for the one hearing he had the opportunity to try to prove his innocence. Please, please, please understand. There was no reason for him to be put on a committee. He could just sit there in that position until something happens with him being vacated out of it, either voted out, recall, something happened. But being on a committee is just a step too much. It's too much. All right, so thank you all so much. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate it. Oh, look at God. Won't he do it? Really enjoy your show. It's nice to hear an intelligent person speak. Thank you so much. Man, that warms my heart. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you all of you all, for tuning in and donating here to the Lady Luck Club. I mean, I want to get YouTube Premium as well, but you guys, I have to be honest and realistic about the budget. That's going to cost another, whatever the expense is for that. But it's not as cheap as I thought it would be. But I mean, I'm more than willing to get it. And you guys know, if I utilize, donations and say it's going to be something for this channel, I will post up the receipt in a heartbeat. Be on the lookout for the FBI subpoena. I posted an email up earlier. The FBI is still going to fulfill my request. It's still processing. They just denied the request to have it expedited. But I did get a response back today from the records department with the FBI. I posted up the email on my channel. You guys can check that out. Once I get that, that's going to be for members only. Because as you all know, I love my members. I think you all should get the good stuff. So once I get the copy of that FBI subpoena, that is going to be members only. So consider becoming a member today. Check out the poll. I'm still waiting on 500 responses before I release that video of the mysterious case to the public. I'm trying to get y'all engaged in that. All right. You guys make sure you have a good evening. Take care of yourselves. I will do a car ride to work in the morning like I normally do when I have to go to the office. Take you all on the car ride with me, and we can chop it up on the way there and back, and then go live tomorrow evening. I'm going to pick a case so you guys can leave comments and let me know which case you would like for me to cover that Super Stupid has pending against her. I'm interested in this David Duval and Samisha Williams because I haven't done those. I haven't even heard of them. So they will be new for me as well. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Subscribe. Become a member. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for Cash Apps, Zelles, however you guys support the channel. Feel free to do so. It is what it is. And I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. And until tomorrow or in the morning, I will see you all in the next one. Lady Luck out. Deuces.